and I'm here to film my March wrap-up and April TBR before we get much further into April. I don't have much natural light left, so I have a strange shadow monster behind me, which I hope you will ignore. The first book I read in March was book 2 in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is Royal Assassin, and I'm really enjoying the reread of this trilogy. I also need to reread the Tawny Man trilogy, which follows this one, and it's all basically gearing up to a book release that I thought would never happen, but it's happening in August this year, and I need to be up to date, refreshed, because I originally read most of these books about 10 years ago, so that process is going very nicely. The second book I read was Lucas by Kevin Brooks, another reread, which I would have to show you physically, but I've just sent it to Cozy Tea Reads for the African Library Project. Such a good book, so unknown relatively, but Kevin Brooks is a solid author and I just love that book. The third book I read was Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, my favourite Walt Disney, and this was not what I was expecting at all, and it was a little bit confusing, but I did enjoy it, and it's still the most beautiful book I own. I really liked the character of the Gentle Lord in this, and it was just not what I was expecting. It was completely different. I don't think I've ever read a book about Hermeticism, but this one has a lot of Hermeticism in it, and that was part of my confusion, but I don't know, props for surprising me, because it really was not what I expected. Have I mentioned that? Next, I read a novella called No Place Like Oz by Danielle Page. This is preceding the release of Dorothy Must Die, which is much anticipated by the booktube community, but I wasn't so sure that I was interested enough to buy the physical copy, despite my cover lust for it, so I thought I would check out a Kindle version of the novella to see if I liked it, and I should have known that I would be a bit indifferent to it because I've never really cared too much for the Wizard of Oz story, and true to form I was a bit bored during this novella, except for the ending, which, yeah, I liked the ending, but I won't give too much away. However, I'm not going to check out the main book anytime soon, although I believe it's out this month. And lastly, I read the Laugh Out Loud Funny Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Broche. This is taken from her blog of the same name, and I used to read that, and these are basically the most popular excerpts from her blog. And basically I was having a really slow reading month just because, as I've said before, I usually read most when I'm traveling to and from work, but my contracts that were further from home and that required me to travel further have kind of ended now, so I have less reading time. But I wanted to read at least 5 books this month, so I picked up what I hoped would be a quick read, and indeed it was, because it has lots of pictures in it. It's kind of like a graphic novel, although it does have some pages of full text as well. This genuinely is laugh out loud funny. I was reading this in public, sniggering to myself. It's so funny. I really recommend this one if you're up for a laugh. Since April is going to be an extremely hectic month for me, I'm trying to leave my TBR a little bit more open than usual. The only thing I know for sure is that I will be reading Cress by Marissa Meyer. I've kind of dithered over this for a few weeks, and there was a part of me that didn't want to read it, but now I have started reading it, and I think I'm over that sort of one book slump that I was having, and I'm back to being excited about this, so I will read this. And since I will be packing up the majority of my heavier books this month to ship to Spain, I need to read The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. I'm pretty sure I've said I was going to read this last month, but I did not. This month is my last chance because I can't travel with heavy hardbacks. I simply cannot, so I am going to read this one this month. And then slightly more doubtfully, I would like to read Cruel by Jessica Albin. I have forgotten completely what this one is about. Something about, like, spinners? Oh, spinsters. But not, like, unmarried older women. I think they manipulate time or the fabric of life or something. I've heard it can be a little bit confusing, but I would like to read this one this month. As for what I'll read after that, it is anybody's guess. Most likely I'll be reading books on my Kindle though, since those are the easiest things to read on the go. I am moving out of my residence at the end of this month, and then I'll be couch surfing next month, so I have to, in theory, pack all my boxes by the end of this month to send to my mother's house. However, there are a number of paperbacks that I really wanted to read in their physical form, so I have decided to allow myself to keep about 5 of them in my suitcase and travel with, even though it's extra weight and even though my mum will probably tell me off when she sees that I have been buying more books. So yes, I will take them with me. I'll carry them to England and foist them off on some family member to eventually matriculate back to my library one day. I live for that one day when I have all my books in one place. In the meantime, yes, it's going to be a bit of an experimental month. Thank you very much for watching this video, and wish me luck, because again, I don't know how much time I'm going to have to read, and I really am adamant that I want to read 5 books this month. So I hope you have a very good reading month, and I hope you had a very good reading month in March. Cheerio, see you later, bye!